Now get Srila Prabhupada's books in ebook and audiobook form. Download the Transcend app. Let's start the 17th chapter of Krishna book entitled as Extinguishing the Forest Fire. King Parikshit, after hearing of the chastisement of Kaliya, inquired from Srila Shukadeva Goswami as to why Kaliya left his beautiful land and why Garuna was so antagonistic to him. Srila Shukadeva Goswami informed the king that the island known as Nagalaya was inhabited by serpents and that Kaliya was one of the chief serpents there. Being accustomed to eating snakes, Garuna used to come to this island and kill many serpents at will. Some of them he actually ate, but some were unnecessarily killed. The reptile society became so disturbed that their leader, Vasuki, appealed to Lord Brahma for protection. Lord Brahma made an arrangement by which Garuna would not create a disturbance. On each half-moon day, the reptile community would offer a serpent to Garuna. The serpent was to be kept underneath a tree as a sacrificial offering to Garuna. Garuna was satisfied with this offering and therefore he did not disturb any other serpents. But gradually, Kaliya took advantage of this situation. He was unnecessarily puffed up by the volume of his accumulated poison as well as by his material power, and he thought, why should Garuna be offered the sacrifice? He then ceased offering any sacrifice. Instead, he himself ate the offering intended for Garuna. When Garuna, the great devotee carrier of Vishnu, understood that Kaliya was eating the offered sacrifices, he became very angry and rushed to the island to kill the offensive serpent. Kaliya tried to fight Garuna and faced him with his many hoods and poisonous sharp teeth. Kaliya attempted to bite him, and Garuna, the son of Tarksha, in great anger and with the great force befitting the carrier of Lord Vishnu, struck the body of Kaliya with his effulgent golden wings. Kaliya, who is also known as Kadru Sutta, son of Kadru, immediately fled to the lake known as Kaliya Hirda, which lay within the Yamuna river and which Garuna could not approach. Kaliya took shelter within the water of the Yamuna for the following reason. Just as Garuna went to the island of the Kaliya snake, he also used to go to the Yamuna to catch fish to eat. There was, however, a great yogi known as Sobri Muni, who used to meditate within the water there and who was sympathetic with the fish. He asked Garuna not to come there and disturb the fish. Although Garuna was not under anyone's order, being the carrier of Lord Vishnu, he did not disobey the order of the great yogi. Instead of staying and eating many fish, he carried off one big fish, who was their leader. Sobri Muni was sorry that one of the leaders of the fish was taken away by Garuna, and thinking of their protection, he cursed Garuna with the following words. Henceforward, from this day, if Garuna comes here to catch fish, then I say this with all my strength, he will be immediately killed. This curse was known only to Kaliya. Kaliya was therefore confident that Garuna would not be able to come there, and so he thought it wise to take shelter of the lake within the Yamuna. But Kaliya's taking shelter of Sobri Muni was not successful. He was driven away from the Yamuna by Krishna, the master of Garuna. It may be noted that Garuna is directly related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is so powerful that he is never subject to anyone's order or curse. Actually, the cursing of Garuna, who is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam to be of the stature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, was an offense on the part of Sobri Muni. Although Garuna did not try to retaliate, the Muni was not saved from his offensive act against a great Vaishnava personality. Due to this offense, Sobri fell down from his yogic position and afterwards became a householder, a sense enjoyer in the material world. The fall down of Sobri Muni, who was supposed to be absorbed in spiritual bliss by meditation, is an instruction to the offender of Vaishnavas. When Krishna finally came out of Kaliya's lake, he was seen by all his friends and relatives on the bank of the Yamuna. He appeared before them nicely decorated, smeared all over with chandana pulp, bedecked with valuable jewels and stones, and almost completely covered with gold. The inhabitants of Vrindavana, including the cowherd boys and men, the gopis, Mother Yashoda, Maharaj Nanda, and all the cows and calves, saw Krishna coming from the Yamuna, and it was as though they had recovered their very life. When a person regains his life, naturally he becomes absorbed in pleasure and joyfulness. They each in turn pressed Krishna to their chests, and thus they felt a great relief. Mother Yashoda, Mother Rohini, Maharaj Nanda, and the cowherdmen became so happy that as they embraced Krishna, they thought they had achieved their ultimate goal of life. Lord Balarama also embraced Krishna, but he was laughing because when everyone else had been so overwhelmed with anxiety, he had known what would happen to Krishna. All the trees on the bank of the Yamuna, along with all the cows, bulls, and calves, were full of pleasure because of Krishna's appearance there. The Brahmana inhabitants of Vrindavana immediately came with their wives to congratulate Krishna and his family members, and because Brahmanas are considered to be the spiritual masters of society, they offered their blessings to Krishna and his family on account of Krishna's release. They also asked Maharaj Nanda to give them some charity on that occasion. Being so pleased by Krishna's return, Maharaj Nanda gave many cows and much gold in charity to the Brahmanas. While Nanda Maharaja was thus engaged, Mother Yashoda simply embraced Krishna and made him sit on her lap while she shed tears continuously. Since it was almost night and all the inhabitants of Vrindavana, including the cows and calves, were very tired, they decided to take their rest on the river bank. In the middle of the night, while they were taking rest, there was suddenly a great forest fire, and it quickly appeared that the fire would soon devour all the inhabitants of Vrindavana. As soon as they felt the warmth of the fire, they immediately took shelter of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although he was playing just like their child. They began to say, "Our dear Krishna, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, our dear Balarama, reservoir of all strength, please try to save us from this all-devouring and devastating fire. We have no shelter other than you. This devastating fire will swallow us all." Thus they prayed to Krishna, saying that they could not take any shelter other than his lotus feet. Lord Krishna, being compassionate upon his own townspeople, immediately swallowed up the whole forest fire and saved them. This was not impossible for Krishna because he is unlimited. He has unlimited power to do anything he desires. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 17th chapter of Krishna, Extinguishing the Forest Fire.